And it gets to a point that nowadays you feel obliged to say, no, everything's cool. No, it's not cool, man. Fuck you, you know. I'm tired of saying like, no, everything's fine.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now. Guilherme, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. I know your life is pretty hectic right now.
Yeah, it is.
You guys are busy with a lot of things. I think you guys were recording a new music video, if I know correctly.
Yeah, man, we finished that actually last night. This morning, we had to do like the, finishing to deliver some stuff and so on.
Yeah.
We delivered David to the airport, so on all the things we delivered back. So so until this morning we were doing that.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate that in your hectic schedule you find some time to answer some of our questions. So let's just go straight into it. For very obvious reasons, this is a pretty high-profile release as a debut release of a new band. Everybody involved has experience. There's no doubt about that. Nevertheless, even with all that experience, given that there is a lot of attention towards this release, is that exciting? Is that a little scary? Are you able to take a step back and just chill and enjoy it? What's it like for you right now?
Man, it's extremely exciting, and we've been working on an environment that me, Michał, and David, somehow we ended up, for the same reasons, starting this whole story together, you know. Mm-hmm. And when I say for the same reasons, it's like different things happen in our lives, and we ended up needing to do something new about it. And the environment is very positive, you know. And I couldn't be more. I think it's the project I've been the most excited to do, you know, because after this whole year's, you know, especially it's always coming back to the pandemic, because man, it hit us musicians in a really bad way.
Right.
Plus the whole thing, you know, during the pandemic, all these disasters happened in our lives and stuff on us three, and then to be back and to be filling up. I can talk for myself, you know, to be filling up my brain with great stuff, music, videos, traveling, you know, joining a plane. And then today I'm answering this interview. I was on a phone call with another guy. A guy called me for a festival in South America to connect with our manager, you know, so you fill up your brain together with things from your world.
Right.
It's great, man. It's brilliant. So I couldn't be more excited than this, you know. It's excitement, I think, is the right word, because sometimes when you're anxious in a positive way, it's excitement, right?
You know, every year there's always cool new projects of people coming together. Music gets released, and then some of that doesn't have a shelf life beyond the release, and then it's like, okay, well, we all did that, and now we move on to other stuff. Where are you with this project? Because some projects become full-fledged bands, or at least a project with a future. I'm sure you guys have talked about this. You know, if Napalm will have talked to you about this. What can you share with us?
Man, you just said part of my answer, because it's like
no, sorry, I'll shut up. I'll actually let you
it's
answer
awesome,
questions.
Because, actually, Napalm asked us exactly the same question, and our management, now that we're starting, I say we're starting because with management it's like, until there's something really for real to be managed, like, you know, when you are on the road, the promotion after album is that when, you know, you have substantial things to handle. So, but we're starting with the management in the US that is great, with FM management. You know, they manage Testament, Death Angel, Steve Zetrosos and stuff like that, plus some other rock bands. And they also made a meeting with us, and they asked the same question, like, what does this stands for? What are your goals with it? And before we moved on to all these meetings, we had a chat, me, David, and Michał, and I told him, like, man, if we behave like a band, we are a band. If we behave like a project, we are a project. It all depends on us, you know. And then David told me, like, man, this is my new creative environment, and this is the band I want to move on with. And from my side, too, and Michał, of course, he agreed to be on. He's on board because he agreed to be on board on these matters. And so this is our new band. This is our new thing. This is our new baby. These days we were doing designs for some stuff that the label asked us, and Michał used a really cool expression. He said, like, man, it's like putting our baby to go to school for the first day. We need the best uniform, you know. So that's the whole feeling. But in the other hand, man, of course we're adults. Of course, there's a lot of things in between. There's so many wheels that makes the engine of a band to drive, you know.
Right.
So we can't predict everything and tell you, like, okay, so we're gonna do this for the next 30 years. Who knows? But from the energy we're getting right now, and if this album will be the blast that we are sure that it will be, for sure we are a band that is here to stay, you know.
There's obviously going to always be, and let's just get that out of the way, there's going to be a discrepancy between the new material, what the band stands for, the project stands for, what you guys want to, you know, share with the world. And let's be honest, especially on festivals, there's going to be people that are going to be like, oh, these people, all of them were in these cool bands, let's go check them out. And they come with an expectation or a wish list. And they may have not heard the new material. So for these shows, what are you planning? What can we expect?
No, man, we're planning to play of course, the songs from the album, and then we have enough songs for a festival set, of course. And you know, man, I can't wait to go back on stage and you know, man, deliver and you know, trash it, you know.
Yeah.
So people can expect a badass gig. We're gonna give more than 100% there. I was wondering with Michał, like, man, 100% is not enough nowadays. You know, we gotta give more than that. And I think Grass Pop is going to be our landmark of the beginning. We just confirmed some gigs yesterday that are going to be announced a little bit before Grass Pop. We're going to play something around the area here in Gdansk, and then we fly to Grass Pop, and from there we're going to start the festival season. Yeah. And dude, I tell you that I can't wait to be on stage, man. It's like, you know, I miss the pedals, I miss the smell of the place, I miss the, you know. So we're pretty excited with this, you know, like selecting backdrops and, you know, this whole thing. It's so many details, man, that it's fun, you know. It's so much stuff, and it gets to a point. Yesterday we were doing a list of stuff that we need to bring, you know, like for the light guy, for the sound guy, sending the writers, and then we were doing lists, and it was like 10 p.m. We were still writing emails, and then we look at each other like, man, now we need time to play, right?
When you're playing these shows, because like, so I had a chance to listen to the full album. There's a lot going on. There's different styles. We'll get to that in just a second. But as a power trio on a stage, there's also nowhere to hide for you as an individual. Like the three of you have to bring this thing. That is that something that you said, like, oh, we were working till 10 o'clock, and then we saw, like, oh, we should maybe play a little bit as well. Like, does that keep you up at night, that this is going to be a stripped down version of what most of the band members are used to in most of their careers?
No, man. When you say keep up at night, I think it's like we made that joke yesterday, but we practice a lot. We're focused on set list and stuff. And we're gonna have a live guitarist together, because I always write songs for two guitars.
Okay, yeah,
on DIETH is not different. That's why there's a lot going on. There's harmonies, there's doubling guitars. There's, you know, what guitar starts here, marks with the drums there, and then we're gonna have a really, really, really good guitarist with us that I can't announce right now, but he's, you know, man, he's great. And then I like to give some of the guitar things to him, so I can be more like the entertainer, be the front man, talk to the people and sing, you know. So on this, we're covered on this matter, and now we're fixing everything with our sound engineer, you know, for the position for the intro, outro, you know, this kind of detail, not details. It's programming the show, right? It's
Yeah.
putting it down now, and then we were really focused. We were excited for this. We just fixed our rehearsal room here, and you know, it's with the minimum details, man. We're putting like the cabinets that we want, with the speakers we want, with the, you know, now we have like, man, tons of pedals, and now every day we try a pedal. Me and Hubert, there's this guy, you know, we tried the pedal here. I know, dude, let's try that other one. We go here, pick up another one. So we're on this process, which is great, man. And DIETH has this, what I think that the reception for, I can't tell you about the reception from the two singles, right? Not from the album yet. I'm glad that you already had access to it. But what brings my attention to this in this album is the energy that is in there. You know, that it's
right.
you feel energy in the songs, man. It's like you can feel it, and that's the energy we're gonna play live, and that's why I think that people are gonna just dig it. They're gonna love it, because this energy is what moves this band, and it's, if we keep cultivating this energy, I think we're gonna get where we want to and where we have to be, you know.
It's a very varied album. There are some songs that are a little bit more straightforward rocking songs. Some are a little bit more groovy. There are some full-on thrash songs as well. This variety, I mean, obviously the people that play in the band all bring their history and their influences and so on. But is that by design to keep it very diverse, or is that because this is a first album, and on a first album most bands and projects are still kind of looking for what is the true identity or the true sound of the band? You said like we're on a path towards something. I think you said like, you know, we want to figure out where we're going and where we have to be. Is that true from a band's concept or also from a music perspective?
No, figuring out where we want to go. We know where we want to go. We know where we have to be. And we know what we deserve to be too, man. That's for real, it's on top. But at the end of the day, there's a process to this whole thing.
Right.
A lot of work to be. You have to put a lot of work and effort, because you have to put your effort to make this be worth something, of course, you know. Because it's like, man, if you're not putting effort on your band, why the fans will? You know?
Right.
So all this dedication that we're putting, man, and it's hours and hours and hours of work. And yeah. Dude, yesterday I had to film something by the water, man. It was -3, and I had to take off my shoes to pass the water, to go to a rock, put the shoes again, man. I was freezing. But and then the director asked me like, man, are you okay? Because my feet got purple, you know. And I had to go to a hot shower and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it's these hours of intense work that I think that makes it worth. Because again, this energy, the fans feel it in the music, man. It's like if you get any of the classics in rock, in metal and stuff, and you ask them what they were feeling in certain songs, they were feeling exactly what the song meant. You know what I mean? So with that said, I believe that for the album, personally, when I was writing the songs, and on this one I was writing most of the music, I told the guys like, man, I don't want to have an album like 10 songs, you know. I've done that before with other bands, and I don't want an album that sounds uniform. So, you know, you listen 2-3 songs and like, okay, whatever, you know.
Right.
So I'm not criticizing any band that does it or not. I'm just saying that when we started this band and we had the chance to do it 100% on our way, we were like, okay, man, we need some brutal songs that we liked it and we wanted them to be there, so let's have it. Then we had some trash songs, some more rock songs, and me and David in studio, by chance, we started to do this stereo thing of me singing some distorted vocals and him singing his backing vocals, and that started to sum up in a way that we thought like, oh, we have something there that's unique. And that ended up being with David singing some songs. So I really like this diversity in the album, you know. It's like if you get most of the albums that we grew up with, you know, you have like the punchy trash songs, you have some slower songs, you have more instrumental songs,
Right.
like tripping, you know, around with a lot of guitar solos, psychedelic vibes. So I like that, man. You know, I like that. So why not to do it?
I was born from darkness, ain't gonna be released from it. Searching for death, dividing it, divided by the pain of.
When we look at the lyrics of the songs, you know, that energy is there as well. We it seems throughout the album, what comes out is a lot of like pent up anger, frustration, feelings of having taken advantage of, maybe even.
Yeah.
With some of these, and the lyrics are also vague enough so people can, you know, kind of interpret their own ways. But given that everybody comes from established bands, there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna have a lot of fun pinpointing certain lyrics on specific other people that have had history with the band members. Is it fair to say that those recent personal experiences have fueled a lot of the lyrics?
Man, talking personally, yes, man, definitely. Definitely. No, man, I'm tired of this thing, like, you know, and I've done this before, so I'm doing my mea culpa here, you know.
Right.
I'm tired of this thing, like everything is a disgrace. The guy's an asshole. People try to destroy your life. You know, you end up a bad relationship, can be familiar or affective, or professional relationship, or a band is like, you know, you're married with some people that you work with, that you live with, you know. So there's a lot of ways of relationships, right? And they have a modus operandi, and it gets to a point that nowadays you feel obliged to say, no, everything's cool. No, it's not cool, man. Fuck you, you know. I'm tired of saying like, no, everything's fine. Yeah, you know, no, it's not. And then in my case, I've done that. Most of that lyrics I've done to express myself, and I was very depressed during the pandemic, and after LG passed, I had to clean a lot of things in my life that you know, when you're going through this mourning process, you know, after funerals and stuff. I don't know if you've been through that, like with someone close, but I've lost close people during the pandemic, and publicly people knows what happened with Entombed AD, and then it just get to a point that you can't take it anymore, man. To smile at everybody and be cool and say, no, man, it's cool. Yeah, thank you for that. No, and but many of these songs I've took them out of, not of my heart, but I think out of my stomach, you know.
Right.
And yeah, you can point the finger, and you should, man. I'm not saying I'm going to war with anybody here, but it gets to a point that you're like, no, man, enough is enough, and so many of that songs I used to as a way to move on, you know. And it's great when you're writing songs and you have to listen it repeatedly, you know, to find the details here and there, just a tempo, maybe get a bit better chorus. And then I remember that the lyrics from that inside, sometimes when I was having bad thoughts at home and I was hearing that lyrics, they were lifting me up, you know. And then I thought like, man, if this can do this to me, if these lyrics can do this to other people, so maybe we have even a purpose here, you know.
To wrap us up on a positive note, you mentioned Dead Inside. I think so far, my favorite track on the album has that energy. Are you still too close to everything, or are you able to remove yourself a little bit and go like, okay, out of everything that we released or are going to release in June, this is the one, that's the one that I can't wait to play live. You know, all of the tracks are your babies for sure, but one baby is prettier than the other babies.
Man, it's funny because when you're rehearsing, you know, some days I play Don't Get Mad, Get Even, like, man, yes, you know, this is fun to play. Some days in the Hall of the Hanging Serpents. Some days it's Mark of Cain. At least for me, it's really fun to play, you know, because I love that there's a lot of guitar parts there, solo with wah, and the vocals on that song, they are very focused, you know, in the mix and stuff. So to do that live is fun. I like this kind of vibe that song has in the chorus, you know. It's fun to combine that riff, that groove in the riff with the way to sing. So I think I can't answer this now. You know, maybe I need a couple of shows because in the
Right.
rehearsals every day that you nail a song, you're like, okay, so this is my favorite to play now. You know.
Awesome. All right. Well, when I see you backstage at Grass Pop, I'll ask you that question again, and then you can
Sure,
tell me what you think at that point. Awesome. Well, Guilherme, I want to thank you for your time today. Again, I know it's really crazy, hectic times for you right now, but it sounds like you enjoy the craziness to keep you, busy and your mind off of other things potentially. So I wish you all the best in, delivering Dave wherever he needs to be, and wrapping up music videos and all that kind of good stuff. And excited for you to release your album in June and share everything with the fans all over the world. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time, too. Really appreciate. See you in Grasspot then.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.